Hello, hello. Welcome to our space. Today's topic is very, very monetized. Crypto billionaire. Maybe 10 years ago, we may not think of anyone can actually make billions only using crypto. But the history has told us the truth is out there. Huh? But after the recent crypto crash, so what is their worth right now? So let's take a look at. We may not want to say that uh, we will know that there is whenever there is a crash, people are talking about the wealth is actually reducing. But somehow or other, crypto rise up again from time to time. All across the world, people are making money from crypto. A decade ago, nobody had heard of Bitcoin, bar a handful of gigs and cypherpunks in some quiet corner of the internet. The world was reeling from the effects of the great crash of 2008, but the traditional financial system still seemed unassailable. Flash forward to the present day, and 2011 seems a lifetime ago. Crypto has exploded. Its market cap now over 2 trillion and showing no signs of slowing down. Bitcoin has been joined by thousands of other cryptocurrency platforms and projects, all seeking to become the hub. Crypto has become an asset class all of its own. Yep. The bull market we are currently in was kicked off by the sudden flood of institutional money into Bitcoin. Yep. Individual investor may not influence the market so much, but institutional money does. Companies and corporations began to see its value and to invest accordingly. The onset of the coronavirus pandemic only accelerated this trend, as everybody, no other place for you to invest better than this, as government stimulus money led many to sense the specter of getting into crypto, with many more sure to come. Away from the headlines about major companies allocating portions of their portfolios to crypto are the millions of retail investors also pouring money into the ecosystem. In a world of deep uncertainty about the future, where the richest 1% own more than the poorest 50%, crypto has been a way for the men and women in the street to make some money on their own terms. Some have made a lot, others not so much, while plenty like to imagine what they would have made if only they hadn't what they did. But while we have all made a few bucks here and there, our gains pale in comparison to those of some of crypto's biggest hitters. A new breed of billionaires has emerged in the last few years to the success of crypto and the projects they either founded or backed. Plenty of rich folks have made themselves even richer by getting into Bitcoin early, but an elite group have amassed their fortunes largely from crypto alone. It can be hard to accurately assess people's crypto wealth, as the market is much more volatile than those of other, more established asset classes. Those who hold all or most of their wealth in one coin or token can see their fortunes tumble or rocket overnight. So it isn't always easy to tell who is richer than who. Nevertheless, there are several crypto billionaires out there who are undeniably ahead of the pack when it comes to the total net worth, and we have gathered the top 10 way find themselves displaced in the future by others currently lower down the ladder, while others may only just be getting started. Let's go. Number one, we don't really know who is this, but his name is called Satoshi Nakamoto. So the wealth from the crypto itself is 58.5 billion. Well, we don't know for sure who the creator of Bitcoin is, whether he's still alive or whether he's even he. Like many potential candidates have been discussed, yet the person who set this whole runway crypto train in motion remains as mysterious and elusive as ever. Satoshi first put forward the idea paper of 2008 as the world struggled to come to terms with what the big banks have been up in the lead up to the financial crash. Back in its early days, Bitcoin could be mined on a normal everyday computer, a far cry from the vast and power-consuming mining farms of today. Whole Bitcoins were worth just a few cents, which explains why one early adopter used 10,000 of them to buy 2 Papa John's pizza back in 2010. The price of Bitcoin didn't do much at first. In 2010, one trader tried to auction off 10,000 BTC for the princely sum of $50. Nobody took him up on the offer, which would have netted the buyer $500 million over a decade later. It wasn't until 2013 that the price of BTC started to seriously heat up. When he mined Bitcoin's Genesis block on the 3rd of January 2009, Satoshi's reward was 50 BTC. However, he also set aside 1 million BTC for himself at the start of the project, which has sat untouched in a wallet known to be linked to him ever since. With the price of Bitcoin sitting around it's about 60,000 at the time of last year, this makes Satoshi's stack of 1 million Bitcoin worth around 58.5 billion. Hoard of Bitcoins would make Satoshi the world's 21st richest person, just behind Michael Bloomberg and ahead of such figures as Jack Ma, Michael Dell, and the Murdochs. However, it looks unlikely that he or she will ever come forward to claim their glittering prize. The wallet holding the Bitcoins has remained untouched since 2009, and the funds indeed are unlikely ever to be accessed. It seems unlikely that we will ever learn what became of Satoshi and who he really was. If he's still alive, then you have to admire his restraint. Not touching a stack that would have made him or she one of the richest person on the planet shows remarkably self-control. Either that or he's forgotten the password. Yes, that's what some of us might be doing. Number 2, Bankman-Fried, 10 billion. There's quite a gap between Satoshi and the next crypto billionaire on our list, though this one is at least around to enjoy his newfound wealth. Sam Bankman-Fried only completed his degree at MIT in 2014 before setting up liquidity provider and trading company Alameda Research 3 years later. SBF, as he is often known, then went on to set up the FTX exchange 2 years after that, and is also the founder of the Serum Decentralized Exchange for good measure. All these achievements would be impressive if they were spaced up over a long career. Yet SBF is not yet 30 and already one of the most crypto, and also one of the richest. Both Alameda and FTX are big players. The latter being the 6th largest exchange in the world with a 3.5 billion valuation and an expected turnover of 400 million for 2021. Much of SBF's wealth is tied up to the FTX equity he holds, as well as a considerable amount of the exchange FTT tokens. This hasn't stopped him from making forays into the world of politics and philanthropy. However, with Joe Biden's 2020 presidential campaign receiving 5.2 million, he has worked with the effective altruism movement throughout his career and funds causes as diverse as animal rights and anti-AI Now based in Hong Kong, where he moved in order to found FTX, he famously slipped on the beanbag at the company's HQ. Bankman-Fried looks almost certain to become a lot richer as time goes on. At the rate he's going, no one should rule out a White House run sometime in the 2030. Number 3, Brian Armstrong, 6.5 billion. Armstrong is the co-founder and CEO of Coinbase, one of the largest and most popular crypto exchanges in the world, and many investors' entry point into crypto. He began his career as a software engineer working for the likes of and Airbnb, before teaming up with former Goldman Sachs trader Fred Ellison in 2012 to develop Coinbase. Coinbase launched in October 2012 in San Francisco. It grew rapidly and was valued at 8 billion in 2018. When it secured like 300 million in a financing round, like many other online businesses, it has seen its revenues go through the roof as a result of the pandemic and reported 1.14 billion of revenue for 2020. This was up from the 483 million reported. Millions of people stuck at home with nothing much to do. I began investing on the platform, and it now hosts 90 billion of crypto assets. As of March 2021, Coinbase valuation has risen to 68 billion, with the company poised to go public via a direct listing later this year. Armstrong's 20% stake in the company means he's now one of the crypto's richest person, on paper at any rate. Coinbase listing on the Nasdaq exchange will be a big moment for the crypto space. One of its biggest brands is reaching across the divide to embrace the world of more traditional finance, and its success or otherwise will be a major factor in whether or not companies decide to follow its example. Brian Armstrong is not the most publicity-hungry crypto big shot out there, though he does tweet regularly up to his 500,000 plus followers. Perhaps he can put a call out to Twitter asking how he should go about trying to spend all the money he's found himself with. Number 4, Mikrizan, 3.2 billion. Next up on our crypto rich list is one of the more enigmatic and less well-known figures to feature here. Not a lot is known about Mikrizan, also known as Zan Ketuan, who together the largest manufacturer of cryptocurrency mining chips and other hardware in the world. Zhan was born in Fujian, China in 1979 and studied electrical engineering at Shandong University before taking a master's degree in microelectronic engineering from the Chinese Academy of Sciences in 2004. Yep, surprise, surprise. Zhan and Wu set up Bitmain in 2013, and the company was well placed to capitalize on the crypto boom which came along afterwards. Reporting revenues of 2.5 billion in 2017, things appear to have turned sour after that, however, with Zhan and Wu struggling for control of the company and Zhan being ousted in 2019. He was eventually able to buy enough company shares to make himself the majority shareholder and reclaim his position as CEO. Zhan and Wu rumbled on for a while, though Cointelegraph reported in December last year that a 600 million settlement had been reached between the warring pair, which resulted in the company being effectively split between the two founders. Although the unedifying spectacle of the company's founder battling out for control, quite literally at one point, can't have been good for business. Both Bitmain and Zhan now seems to both be doing all right all themselves, with the company thought to be worth somewhat between 40 billion and 50 billion and branching out into AI to broaden its market. And before we end our sessions, this list I can't do without Chang, Okay, the founder of Binance, another uber wealthy crypto exchange founder to make our list, is perhaps the best known of them all. Binance CEO CZ saw the exchange he founded became a market leader just a few months after its launch in 2017. Born in Shanghai, CZ's family then moved to Canada, and he graduated with a degree in computer science from Montreal's McGill University. After stints working in Tokyo and New York, he returned to Shanghai and founded Fusion Systems in 2005, a company that specialized in building trading software for banks. It was while in Shanghai that he first heard about and began investing in Bitcoin, reportedly selling his house in order to invest in it. What a brave move. Finance. And finance. Went live in 2017 and was headquartered in Shanghai. Despite a rocky start to life, we saw the much anticipated Binance Coin, BNB, tank after its launch. The exchange recovered and began to grow rapidly. In the summer of 2017, however, it became clear that the Chinese government was looking to crack down on crypto exchanges, and CZ took the decision to move the company out of China altogether. After a stint in Japan, the exchange was registered in Malta. With its ever-growing staff working remotely from across the world, the road has been rocky, especially in the wake of a major hack in 2019. But Binance is now safely ensconced as one of the biggest names in crypto, with expected profits of around 1 billion for 2020. After initially failing flat, BNB has soared in value over the past year, with a market cap behind only Bitcoins and Ethereums. As Binance staff are reportedly all paid in BNB, it's not surprising to see CZ taking his seat in the billionaires club launch. So, are we expecting lots more billionaires coming up from the crypto that we will see in 2023? And of course, the major happenings in 2024, the halving of Bitcoin. By then, we will just follow up on the news that we are having now.